Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 9, Book 86, Number 98. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "A virgin should not be married till she is asked for her consent, and the matron should not be married till she is asked whether she agrees to marry or not." It was asked, "O Allah's Apostle, how will she, the virgin, express her consent?" He said, "By keeping silent." Some people said, "If a virgin is not asked for her consent and she is not married, and then a man, by playing a trick, presents two false witnesses that he has married her with her consent and the judge confirms his marriage as a true one, and the husband knows that the witnesses were false ones, then there is no harm for him to consummate his marriage with her and the marriage is regarded as valid." Volume 9, Book 86, Number 99. Narrated by Al-Qasim. A woman from the offspring of Jafar was afraid lest her guardian marry her to somebody against her will. So she sent for two elderly men from the Ansar, Abdurrahman and Mujami, the two sons of Jariyah, and they said to her, "Don't be afraid, for Kansa bint Kidam was given by her father in marriage against her will." Then the Prophet cancelled that marriage. See Hadith number 78. Volume 9, Book 86, Number 100. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle said, "A lady slave should not be given in marriage until she is consulted, and a virgin should not be given in marriage until her permission is granted." The people said, "How will she express her permission?" The Prophet said, "By keeping silent, when asked her consent." Some people said, "If a man, by playing a trick, presents two false witnesses before the judge to testify that he has married a matron with her consent and the judge confirms his marriage, and the husband is sure that he has never married her before, then such a marriage will be considered as a legal one and he may live with her as husband." Volume 9, Book 86, Number 101. Narrated by Aisha. Allah's Apostle said, "It is essential to have the consent of a virgin for the marriage." I said, "A virgin feels shy." The Prophet said, "Her silence means her consent." Some people said, "If a man falls in love with an orphan slave girl or a virgin and she refuses him, and then he makes a trick by bringing two false witnesses to testify that he has married her, and then she attains the age of puberty and agrees to marry him and the judge accepts the false witness and the husband knows that the witnesses were false ones, he may consummate his marriage." Volume 9, Book 86, Number 102. Narrated by Aisha. Allah's Apostle used to like sweets and also used to like honey, and whenever he finished the Asr prayer, he used to visit his wives and stay with them. Once he visited Hafsa and remained with her longer than the period he used to stay, so I inquired about it. It was said to me, a woman from her tribe gave her a leather skin containing honey as a present, and she gave some of it to Allah's Apostle to drink. I said, "By Allah, we will play a trick on him." So I mentioned the story to Sauda, the wife of the Prophet, and said to her, "When he enters upon you, he will come near to you, whereupon you should say to him, 'O Allah's Apostle, "Have you eaten mahafir?" He will say, "No." Then you say to him, "What is this bad smell?" And it would be very hard on Allah's apostle that a bad smell should be found on his body. He will say, "Hafsa has given me a drink of honey." Then you should say to him, "Its bees must have sucked from the al-urfut, a foul-smelling flower." I too will tell him the same. And you, O Saifia, say the same. So when the Prophet entered upon Sauda, the following happened. Sauda said, "By him except whom none has the right to be worshipped, I was about to say to him what you had told me to say while he was still at the gate because of fear from you. But when Allah's apostle came near to me, I said to him, 'O Allah's apostle, have you eaten mahafir?' He replied, 'No.' I said, 'What about this smell?' He said, 'Hafsa has given me a drink of honey.' I said, 'Its bees must have sucked al-urfut.' When he entered upon me, I told him the same as that. And when he entered upon Safiya, she too told him the same. So when he visited Hafsa again, she said to him, 'O Allah's apostle, shall I give you a drink of it, honey?' He said, 'I have no desire for it.' Sauda said, 'Subhan Allah, we have deprived him of it, honey.' I said to her, 'Be quiet.'" Volume 9, Book 86, number 103. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amir bin Rabia. Umar bin al-Khattab left for Sham, and when he reached a place called Sahi, he came to know that there was an outbreak of an epidemic, of plague, in Sham. Then, Abdurrahman bin Auf told him that Allah's apostle said, "If you hear the news of an outbreak of an epidemic, plague, in a certain place, do not enter that place. And if the epidemic falls in a place while you are present in it, do not leave that place to escape from the epidemic." So, Umar returned from Sahi. Volume 9, Book 86, number 104. Narrated by Amir bin Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas. That he heard Usama bin Zaid speaking to Sa'd, saying, Allah's apostle mentioned the plague and said, "It is a means of punishment with which some nations were punished and some of it has remained, and it appears now and then. So whoever hears that there is an outbreak of plague in some land, he should not go to that land, and if the plague breaks out in the land where one is already present, one should not run away from that land, escaping from the plague." Volume 9, Book 86, number 105. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, "The one who takes back his gift is like a dog swallowing its own vomit, and we, believers, should not act according to this bad example." Volume 9, Book 86, number 106. Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet has decreed that preemption is valid in all cases where the real estate concerned has not been divided, but if the boundaries are established and the ways are made, then there is no preemption. A man said, "Preemption is only for the neighbor," and then he makes invalid what he has confirmed. He said, "If someone wants to buy a house and being afraid that the neighbor of the house may buy it through preemption, he buys one share out of 100 shares of the house and then buys the rest of the house. Then the neighbor can only have the right of preemption for the first share but not for the rest of the house, and the buyer may play such a trick in this case."